Hello, welcome back to one of my cooking videos. Hope you enjoyed the last one. Now on my last one I did say I was going to cook one of our old-fashioned British school dinner pudding that we used to get back in the 70s when I was having school dinners. Back then I think the school dinners were about 5p or a shilling in the old money. Very, very good value as well. You used to get 2 courses. The main meal, you used to get something decent like mashed potatoes, you used to get vegetables, a pie, bacon and onion roly-poly. It was very, very good. And dessert, you had lots of different desserts. We had things like semolina, pink blancmange, you remember pink blancmange, jam tart, syrup tart, cornflakes jam typey puddingy thing. Another one we used to get was tapioca. We used to call it foxbun. I mean, who likes tapioca? Perhaps you do. We never used to like it. Anyway, and the other dish we used to get in there was called a gypsy tart. Now, apparently this was invented about 100 years ago on the Isle of Sheppey in the county of Kent in England. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. There's various different stories that go on the internet, but apparently it was an old woman saying loads of kids outside playing, very, very hungry. She took pity on them and she decided to cook what she had in her cupboard, which was the ingredients I'm using, and she handed it out, and hence it's got its name, Gypsy Tart. Anyway, we was reminiscing the other night, me and the missus, what we used to get in school dinners. Do you remember this? You remember that? I remember that. Oh, I forgot about that. So I thought, let's give it a try. I've never made a gypsy tart. It was served with a little like a rosette of cream on top. I'm sure that was a pretty artificial cream. Never used to taste it like real cream, but I'm going to try and replicate that. Whether it is or not, I don't know. But anyway, enough of this old waffling going on and on as usual. Get you bored with that. Let's see what ingredients we're using for this gypsy tart. I'm going to cook this week for a good old-fashioned British school dinner dessert or pudding, whichever you want to call it. Well, so the ingredients for this old-fashioned school pudding back in the 70s, gypsy tart. Now we've got to make a short crust pastry. You can do it sweet or normal. I'm not putting any sugar in the pastry because I think the tart itself is sweet enough. Anyway, we're using 125 grams of butter there. I've got 250 grams of plain flour. I'm using 1 egg for the flour. Now the main ingredient for this gypsy tart is 300 grams of soft brown sugar, muscovado sugar, any soft brown sugar would do, and a tin of full fat evaporated milk. Must be full fat, don't use the half fat, it won't do it as good. Full fat evaporated milk, keep that in the fridge overnight before you use it, that needs to be chilled. So that's basically the ingredients. The first thing we need to do is make this pastry case. So just a basic short crust pastry. So I say you can put a bit of sugar in to make it a bit sweet, but I'm not doing that. So basically it's just putting your flour in a bowl with your soft butter, that's been out of the fridge for a while, and then cracking the egg in there. And then we're going to make this, bit of egg in there, get that one out. So I'm just going to mix this up and get my hands in there in a minute and make this a pastry. Now those have seen a lot of my other videos when I've done pastry. Now I like getting my hands down and dirty, so I like doing it by hand. You can, of course, if you've got a good mixer, whack it all in the mixer with a pastry blade and just whack it round that way, makes it a bit quicker. But like I say, I do prefer doing mine good old-fashioned way by hand. Let's get this mixed up, ready to roll. There we go, that's all mixed up nicely, so let's take that out. Now I'm going to roll this out. Now we're actually using about a 9-inch flan case there, lined with greaseproof paper. Now we're going to blind bake this in a minute, so I've got some baking pans, but let's get this rolled out first of all, and then we'll put it in there. Right, so that's rolled out, so let's get this in the pastry pan tin there. Make sure that greaseproof paper is up all the way in. Make sure it comes all the way up the edges, like so. Let's trim those edges off. do. Let's get the bacon beans out and put them in there. Let's put the bacon beans or rice or whatever you've got. Put that in the pastry case. And that's going to go in the oven. I've got the oven preheated at the moment. 180 degrees centigrade, gas mark 4, for about 20 minutes first of all. Once it's done for 20 minutes, take it out, take the beans out and put it back in for about another 5 to 10 minutes. So we're going to do that first of all now. Right, so that's in the oven waiting for that to cook. Now I forgot to mention also, now because the Gypsy Tart had like a rosette of some type of, I think it was artificial cream on the top, that young lady wouldn't know. I'm going to try and replicate that by using some dream topping. This sort of thing you whisk up with milk and just put on top of things like, you say, strawberries, trifle. But I'm going to whip that up so it's like a thick consistency and then just pipe that on a little rosette when I finish. So you don't need to do this, you can use real cream if you want, but I'm trying to sort of keep it as authentic as I can. I'm pretty sure it was like an artificial type cream they used in school. I could be wrong. If you know, let me know, but I'm using dream topping, trying to replicate it of that as well. So I'm just waiting for the pastry case to cook, and then once that's cooked, we're then going to let it cool down, and then we need to mix up the sugar and the evaporated milk, but we'll come back when we're ready to do that. Well, there we go. That's at what the normal was, it 20 minutes, then back in for another 10 minutes. You'll see where the bacon beans have been. So we need to put this aside, let that cool down now. So what we're going to do now, this is the noisy bit, just going to put the sugar in a bowl with the chilled evaporated milk, and we just need to whisk this up for about 15 to 20 minutes till it's nice and frothy. So I'm going to whisk this up now, I'll come back when that's all whisked up. Right, there we go, that's had 20 minutes. Now it's important not to skip on the whisking. Apparently you do need to whisk it till it's nice and thick like that and really come a sort of double up in volume. So now what we're doing now is going to gently pour it into the pastry case. You can see how thick that actually is. I think that pastry case could have been a little bit bigger actually, but hey ho, there you go, these things happen. Yep. Nice and sweet. I've actually got quite a lot left over actually. It's made quite a lot. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put that in ramekin dishes and in these and put them in as well and just see how it cooks out. So it might come out like a nice dessert without the pastry. Anyway, that has now got to go back in the oven and we're going to cook that for about 15-20 minutes. Just lower the temperature, 160 to gas mark 3. Need to wait till it's risen a little bit and it's all tacky. So I'm going to put that in now. We come back when it's actually cooked again. There we go. I gave about another 10 minutes. Did rise up quite a lot, but as soon as I turned the heat off and let it settle, it's gone right down. So it feels nice and firm. So what I need to do now is let that chill off and set, preferably overnight. I'm going to put it in the fridge for about 3 or 4 hours. I think that should be enough. And then we're going to come back, take it off the greaseproof paper, and then we're going to pipe it with that cream on and see what it tastes like. So I'll be back in a couple of hours time. There we go, that's had a couple of hours in the fridge. Now I've whisked up the dream top in there and the artificial cream type thing and done a rosette around it. Yeah, it's not very thick actually. I've put the right amount of milk in it. Perhaps I should have put less to make it a bit thicker, but anyway, it doesn't look too bad. So let's cut into it. But I will say the one at school, the topping was actually thick, and I don't know, I mean it did rise quite a lot in the oven. I mean when I opened the oven up to have a look at it, it was quite puffed up, and so I closed the oven up again. When I looked through the glass door, it's still puffed up, so I turned the oven off, and when cooling down it's actually dropped down. But the proof of the pudding is in the tasting, so they say. So that's how thick it actually is on the topping there, and if you can see that. Try and get a good view of that. It's not very thick, but it is cooked. Let's rub that out of the way. give this a little try. In actual fact, I don't need to a fork, so here we go, let's give it a try. The pastry's cooked perfectly, nice and crumbly, not soggy. See that, not a soggy bottom, look, perfect bottom there. That tastes just like I remember. It was thicker, but it's more like a treacle tart flavour, sort of more like a caramel. I don't know if you used to cinder toffee where you come from, but it's got like a treacle tart, cinder toffee type flavour, but with a bit of the dream topping on top. That doesn't taste like what we had at school, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't real cream, but it's full of flavour. I'll give it that, it's very, very flavoursome. Just could have been a bit thicker, the topping. Oops, dropped off there. Have a bit there. Move that dream topping, it does taste nice. Now, perhaps you could use proper cream, put a bit of lime zest or lemon zest in the cream and pipe it on thicker, and that would look quite nice. But my first attempt, an old British school dessert pudding, a Gypsy Tart. I'm pleased with that, it's got the flavours, which is the main thing. So there we go, that's another dessert dish done. I'm going to do another one in the future stage, so see how they go. I might do some egg custard one time. I do like good egg custard tart. I've never ever made an egg custard tart, so I might give that a shot in the next few weeks and see how it goes. Anyway, that's it. One good old-fashioned British dinner dessert stroke pudding, a Gypsy Tart. Lovely. There we go, one old-fashioned Gypsy Tart dessert done. I'll show you again on the plate. Yeah, my piping needs to be a bit better, I think, but you know, I'm happy with that. The flavours of it really does got a nice, rich, strong flavour. Very, very sweet, which is I understand why I didn't put sugar in the pastry. It's very sweet, very nice. I'm quite pleased with that one. That's going to come out nice, so you know, I'm happy with that one. Anyway, hope you do like that one. Please do like, subscribe, hit the old thumbs up button. Do appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching. Look out for my next one. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'll think of something. Anyway, if there's anything you want me to try, put it in comments. Anything from your country you'd like me to try and whack it down, I'll give it a shot. I don't mind. I mean, whether they come out not too perfect like that or come out perfect like some other dishes, hey ho, that's what life's all about. It's all about cooking and not always getting it right. Anyway, again, thanks a lot for watching. Look after yourselves, be kind to one another. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care, bye.